Shut up and sit down.
Hello gang, Colin here, Festa67's workshop, and welcome to part 10 of the Valentino Rossi bike. So we're going to be doing the air intake top plate, coolant and oil tanks, control unit and plugs, and the ECU, folks. So we'll be starting that in a sec, so I'm just going to grab some bits and pieces. I've got my bags all on the bench ready because I finally got me parts. So we'll make a start on stage 59, which is the air intake top plate. And it's basically just a semicircular piece of plastic, but I'll put my lenses of sightness on so I can see what I'm doing. We can start opening up some of these bags, and it's basically just a top plate and some pins that are going to go in on that. And they will sit just on top of the air intake, so I'll spin that over in a sec. I'll just get me cutters and cut these little pins off the sprue there. So we'll have a looky-loo at them, get them cut off and cleaned up. And it's basically air intake top plate, the parts for it, which I've got in my hand, which is the sprue, and a couple of stops that we'll need a bit later on. Okay, so we'll keep them to one side. So we'll just make sure that these fit. You might need to enlarge a couple of the holes a little bit, but don't worry, just run a little tiny pin vise drill through there and you'll be fine. Just to clean out any little swarf. And these are just a little push fit into the holes, and then the plate itself will pop on top of the subframe. Like so. So we'll grab them and we'll press them in like that. And by powers of deduction, the opposite side is going to be the same. So we'll carry on with them and get them in situ. Like that. So we'll just cut these last four off. Try not to lose any of them and ping them across the floor because I did that earlier. I'll just nip them off like that. Like that. Yeah, try not to knock it out of place, Cole. And we'll just push them in like so. Now see, some of these you might find you need a bit of glue on them. There are a couple of bits that are a bit loose and some that are a bit tight. What I've been doing on this is anything I'm not 100% certain of that's going to stay in place, I've been going along after I've filmed and just putting a little dab of Tamiya extra thin in, just to hold everything in place like that. Just a tiny little dab, all you want. And it just stops anything from working its way loose, because it's a big old bike and you're going to be manoeuvring it around quite a bit going forward now. So you're going to have a lot of turning around, turning it upside down and all of that. So you want to make sure all these fiddly bits aren't going to fly off. So we'll just press that one in. A little bit of a resistance fit, but I don't mind that. Okay. Get that one in there, and then there should be one more that goes in the other end like that. Some are stubborn, as I've said, but just persevere with it. And then a little dab of extra thin along the backs of them, just to bung them in place. And I'll let that dry for a sec, like that. And we'll grab the subframe, and that is literally a press fit in the two holes there. So put a bit of extra thin in there, and then we'll press them home like that. Have you a bit of that, like so. Yeah, I'm just seeing what I can do there, and that's what the the stage looks like when it's completed, folks. So I'm happy with that. So we can now look at moving on to the next stage, which is going to be stage 60. Okay, so we'll just put that to one side. And we can move now on to stage 60, which is the coolant and oil tanks. So we've got tank A, oil tank, a tank cap, a strap, and coolant tank number B, or letter B. Okay, so if you look at the arrow there, you've got a little semicircle cut in, and the cap will only fit in this one way round. But just bear that in mind, folks. Okay, so pop that in there, like so. Nice sturdy press. Get that into place, like that. Okay. And then you've got the strap of goodness that just drops in to the said groove on there, like that. And bob's your uncle. And you just want to make sure you get your strap the right way round there. There's a little buckle. There's the main bracket. There's a little adjustment buckle there, and the ring that goes on the end. Okay. Let's have a little bit of glue in these two holes, and we'll get ready to put that in place. Like that. And we'll just watch that in like that. Happy days. And then we'll grab the coolant tank halves and glue them together. Like so. Got one in there. And we'll make sure we orient that the right way round. And we just press them. And we go for a little squeeze like so. Like that. Okay, it's good, isn't it? What would you do, eh? A little bit of glue on them two pins. And we'll locate that in its home. So I'll just quickly have a look at what I'm doing. I've got my magnifiers on, and we'll just press that in like that. There you go. Next stage. Stage 61, folks. And what are we going to be doing on this then? I think we're going to be doing the top holder for the ECU there. And it's the control unit support and the plugs, to give it its proper name. So we've got a couple of tiny little electrical plugs going in each side here. You've got two in one side, and you've got one on what would be the rider's even right hand side, like that. Now these are a bit of a wobbly fit, so you might want to either use a good strong bit of gloopy glue. In the end, I'm going to be using a bit of extra thin just to get them to start, and then I shall put a big drop of Contactor Pro in there or something in the hope that they congeal together, which is that's the big word of the day. So that's what we're going to do there. So we'll get these plugs in place. They will fit. And then we can look then at the next section, which is going to be the ECU unit itself. But I just want to make sure this plug sits properly because it pinged out a couple of times. There you go. The stage 62 is the electronic control unit, and it's pretty straightforward. You've got a groove along the side there that you put the control unit connectors in, and you want them facing towards where the ECU is going to be. The ECU then will just drop straight in like so, and it's a press fit, but I shall turn it upside down and just drop a bit of extra thin in the pinholes there like that. One in there, just to let that bite. And then the strap itself just drops in the little slots that are cut in there. Like that. So I just want to make sure I get it round the right way. There's two little tiny holes in the end of this connector, and I just want to orientate it the right way. Might even get the spudger into play just to give it a little bit of a nudge in the right direction. Because there's a couple of tabs on the buckles basically, and one slot's in there. And then the other one's at a slightly different angle. So you just want to make sure you turn it with your finger. And then once it starts to locate, you can then squeeze it in place, like that. I'll just get my spudger, put it in the buckle like so. Dink, prop it in, just like that. And to be on the safe side, we'll want a bit of extra fin in there. Like that. So that's the ECU end of the strap in place. So we'll probably mount that in the frame, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. And I think we'll bring in the bike itself so that we can start looking at mounting that in there, because I want that ECU support frame to be fitted now to the bike, because there's a couple of little R-clips that I've got to go in on some pins on the frame, and it'll hold all of that in place. So I might as well put it in situ now, to be honest with you, and then I know it's done. Because I'm at that point now, I've got so many big bits of this bike laying around. I've got bits of it everywhere. And I don't want to start losing bits of it if I can help it, because I'm having a bit of a move around in the cave at the moment. So, yeah. So we can pretty much put them clips in. A little bit fiddly, folks, but like I say, just give it a squeeze. It will go, but what you've got to realise, these are mass-produced bits, and you know, you're the first person that is trying to fit them together, so just bear that in mind. I'll probably pop a couple of bits off the control mechanisms whilst I'm manhandling the bike itself. So I might just remove a couple of bits that I've already put on, because I'm going to be a bit heavy-handed where I'm connecting things, and I don't want to disconnect or break anything. So luckily a lot of it is push fit, so yeah, you can just drop brackets off and things and do your work. So that's that in place. So I think we're coming to that point. We can put these little fiddly R-clips in, and once they're in, we can then say that that's buttoned up then. And the holes are already drilled in the pins, so you just use your pliers or whatever you're using just to pop the pins straight in. Like that, see, so that's one done. And we're coming up to the other one. And we'll get that in place then. Just make sure that I can keep a grip of my pliers. Use my shed thumb to try and steady my hands. And that is that stage buttoned up. Look at that. Gonna make brum brum noises. Brum 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 brum. Yeah, you know you want to. But yeah, I think we can just have a quick shifty around to that. I'll put that to one side, and then we'll start on the next stage. So we're now on stage 63, which is control units. So we'll get that done. And this goes in the top of the engine. There's a little cubby hole in there that this fits into. And we got the brake system control unit, the lambda probe control unit, some tube connectors, and a red control unit for the rear brake. So this is the fiddly stage now, where you're going to have to get your forceps out and start pulling different pipes through the frame and things like that. So make sure you check and double check your instructions on this stage, because obviously this control unit that's going in has got loads of pins poking up, and the different tubes connect specifically in certain places. So refer to your instructions. They're really clearly laid out so you can follow the pipe run and make sure you plug them in the correct spot. And they've highlighted them in different colours as well on the instructions, folks, so you should really be able to follow that quite well. I'm voice-over in this bit because obviously filming it and trying to do it, you do get yourself into a bit of pickle. And rather than risk the, how can I say, inopportune grown-up word being used, I tend to cut the audio out and just, yeah. So we do a nice bit of voiceover instead. But luckily for me, I put a lot of these tubes in situ in the frame there, just so that they're going to be a straight pop in place. So I've got the instructions just to my left. So I'll just get me long nose pliers probably on the pipes and pull them through and pop them on the pins. We'll see. We'll see how we get on with it. I might actually just move the actual control unit itself off, put the pipes on and then put the whole lot in place. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how we get on. See which turns out to be the easiest way. Conveniently rest that on a bottle of glue there. Perfect fit. And we'll put that to one side now that the pipes are on. And literally, you'll see on the instructions that it's a pretty straightforward lift, pull the pipes through and drop them in place, but a little bit fiddly. But you'll get there. So I've got the rear brake sensor unit going on. So we'll get them in. And fit them together. And they just tuck into the frame in a minute, so we'll lay that down, put that pipe system in, and drop that into place like so. And we just glue them in place onto the brake control unit. Like so. So we can start stage 64 now. And we're grabbing the two tank halves there, the fuel tank. Now, the one thing I've noticed about this fuel tank is when you put it together, you really do have quite a seam there, which I'll go through with you and show you. But it's a little disappointing that they've moulded it that way, if I'm honest. But yeah, you'll see it in a second anyway. I'm just going to bung the brake control unit on and put its sensor in the frame as well, just so that they're in situ. And there's pins on the frame that it fits in. It's push fit, and then I can connect the pipes up then. Ready to go. So yeah. So that's that unit in place. I just want to make sure that the pipes are going where they should, which they look like they are. Yeah, they seem to be okay. So I'm happy with that. And we can fit the brake control unit. Just quickly double check. And there's a couple of little holes just in the frame there where the clutch basket is. And it'll press fit in there. So we're more than happy with that now. Just push that pipe on now with a set of the old pliers. Make sure that they're in situ. Rest that on my glue pot. And then we can see what other bits and bobs we got. And it should only be now the tank details left, which will be the sump, the cap, the carbon fibre heat shield and the fuel line. So we'll just pull the tank to one side and get the last bags of bits out. And I'm going to be doing a bit of work on this fuel tank because I've had a little looky-loo at it, like I said just now. And I don't know, there's a big old seam right down the middle of it, and I've noticed it and it's bugging me. So I'm going to end up, probably once this is filmed, off air, I'll just de-seam it, I think, and repaint it, because I don't know, we'll see. I'll see how much I can get it to compress with gluage, but it sticks out like a blind cobbler's thumb. Look at it, right down the centre there, right away up the front of it, in the worst place imaginable. And all right, you're not going to see it with all the seats and all of that lot on there, but I know it's there, and it ain't right, is it? It just looks horrible. But for the moment, just to continue the build process, we'll pop the bits in place. But I shall go back and dismantle the tank and do me business with it, because, yeah, I'm not 100% happy with that. Call me fussy, but yeah, you'll see. It's just horrible. What we got? We got the little plug that goes on the end of the fuel line. Make sure that that fits, which it does. We've got some odd bits and bracketry that can go back on once I've had a look at the fuel tank. We'll then fit them to the bike and glue them in place, because I want to not have to keep taking bits and pieces off, if I'm honest, off the bike. Let's rest that on there. Put them to one side, actually. But that tank, I'll just get me sticker pointed goodness now. Look at that, right away down there. I mean, come on. That is a nasty mould, the way they've done that. I'm shocked, really, that they did that. But us modelers, you know, we are a determined bunch. So, yeah, we shall have at it and do our thing, and I shall clamp it, glue it, and do whatever I can to get rid of that. But I can see me pretty much doing a bit of the old de-seaming on that, if I'm honest. So, watch this space, but we'll have a go. We'll see what we can do with the glue, but I'm not holding much hope that the old extra fin's going to be bitey enough for it. So I think a deft bit of heavy duty clamping will be required on this bad boy. But we'll see. Luckily I've got some nice aluminium paint and that, so I can see what we can do. But probably find that this won't be gloopy enough. But not to worry. This is the challenge. This is what we enjoy doing. See, so clamp that, and we'll see, just like that. So it's had a bit of a de-seam, a little bit of dirt and detritus here, there and everywhere, but all in all, yeah, a bit better. Not perfect, but good enough for me. Yeah. So that's ready to go on the bike. So we can start putting some bigger bits on there. So I'm going to leave this episode there. Not sure when the next lot of bike parts is going to arrive, because obviously with a well bin on fire, everything's getting held up in customs, and this comes from Italy, so I wait on the supplier. But I'm going to go through the boxes that I've got the bike parts in and start gathering it all together, and then bringing it out and having it ready to just do little mini updates on. So I'm going to sort that all out and start categorizing everything I've got. So until then, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and click the bell so that you get notified of future notifications. You can also now join the channel if you choose to. It's not compulsory, it's there. If you would like to consider that, it's muchly appreciated, and it allows me to keep this content coming for you all. You can also support me on Patreon as well if you choose to. Until next time, keep an eye out for me Monday, Wednesday and Sunday live streams. I look forward to seeing you in the chats on those, and also on the eModels Monday show of a Monday evening with Fox, Ted, Chris and myself. So until then, folks, thank you all for continuing your support for me. It is massively appreciated, and I look forward to doing vroom vroom noises with the Rossi bike in the next episode with you. Bye bye for now.